We all want to be more productive. But what if I told you that managing your mind is far more powerful than managing your time? Today, we're diving deep into Mind Management, Not Time Management by David Kadavy, a book that will completely transform how you approach creativity and productivity. Traditional productivity teaches us to squeeze more tasks into our day. But Kadavy argues that our mind isn't a machine that can operate at full speed all the time. Instead, we should harness our cognitive energy, working when our mind is in its optimal state and resting when needed. Chapter 1. Why Time Management Fails. We've all been there, planning our day meticulously, blocking out time for deep work, only to find ourselves uninspired when it's time to start. That's because time management doesn't account for mental energy. Kadavy explains that creative productivity is all about working with the mind's natural fluctuations rather than forcing productivity at fixed times. Time management assumes that if we allocate time to a task, we will have the mental energy to complete it. But here's the problem. Just because your schedule says, write creative report at 9 a.m., does that mean your brain is actually ready to do deep creative thinking? We often think of productivity as a matter of willpower, but the truth is, willpower is a limited resource. Forcing creative work at the wrong time drains your mental energy, leaving you exhausted before you even get started. Traditional time management works well for repetitive mechanical tasks, like assembling parts in a factory, but creative work isn't linear. You can't force inspiration to appear just because the clock says it's time. Instead of forcing creativity into a rigid schedule, mind management encourages you to track your natural energy cycles. When are you most focused? When do ideas flow effortlessly? Adjust your schedule to fit your mind, not the other way around. The biggest lesson here? Productivity isn't about cramming more tasks into your day. It's about doing the right work at the right time. Next, we'll explore how to find your creative sweet spot, the times when your mind naturally enters peak performance mode. Stay tuned. Chapter 2. The 4 Stages of Creativity. To work smarter, we need to understand how creativity actually functions. Kadavy breaks it down into 4 stages. Preparation is where creativity begins. This is the stage where you absorb information, research, and gather insights. Whether you're writing, designing, or solving problems, this stage is about feeding your mind with raw material. Think of it like stocking your creative pantry. Everything you consume now will fuel your future ideas. After gathering information, your brain needs time to process it. This is the incubation stage. Have you ever noticed that your best ideas come when you're in the shower, taking a walk, or just relaxing? That's because your subconscious mind is still working on a problem even when you aren't actively thinking about it. This is the aha moment. The illumination stage happens when your brain finally connects the dots. It often feels spontaneous, but it's actually the result of the preparation and incubation stages working together. The key is to be ready to capture these ideas when they come. The final stage is verification, where you refine and test your idea. Not every idea that emerges from illumination is a good one. So this stage is about evaluating, improving, and making it practical. This is where real creative work happens, turning raw inspiration into something useful and polished. Creativity isn't magic. It's a structured process. By understanding these 4 stages, you can stop forcing creativity and instead cultivate it naturally. In the next chapter, we'll dive into how to find your creative sweet spot, the times when your brain naturally performs at its peak. Stay with us. Chapter 3. Finding your creative sweet spot. Have you ever sat down to work, only feel completely uninspired, even though the clock says it's time to get stuff done? What if I told you that your best creative work doesn't come from forcing effort? It comes from discovering your creative sweet spot. We all have moments during the day when we feel more alert, more focused, and most importantly, more creative. This is what Kadavy calls your creative sweet spot. It's the time when your brain is most ready to dive into deep, meaningful work. But here's the thing, everyone's sweet spot is different. So, how do you find your creative sweet spot? Kadavy suggests tracking your mental energy levels throughout the day. This means paying attention to when you feel mentally sharp, when ideas seem to flow naturally, and when you're able to focus without distractions. It might be early in the morning, late at night, or even during a walk in the park. The key here is experimenting with different routines. You may think you're a morning person, but after tracking your energy for a few days, you might realize that your brain is most creative during those late night hours. Or you might find that a short walk in the afternoon sparks your creativity like nothing else. The important thing is to experiment and observe your natural rhythms. This is where traditional time management falls short. When you force yourself to write at a specific time, because your calendar says so, you're not considering when your mind is actually ready for that task. Kadavy emphasizes that your brain doesn't operate like a factory where you can just turn on productivity at the flip of a switch. Your work needs to align with when your mind is primed for it. One way to find your creative sweet spot is to track your mental energy levels. You can do this by keeping a simple journal or using an app to record how you feel at different times of the day. Pay attention to your productivity, focus, and creativity. Over time, you'll begin to notice patterns. These patterns will help you schedule your most important work when your energy is at its peak. Imagine this. Instead of pushing yourself to work on something when you know you're not at your best, you can simply align your tasks with when your mind is sharpest. That's when the magic happens. Your ideas flow, your focus sharpens, and you start producing your best work without struggling. So, the next time you feel frustrated trying to write, create, or solve a problem, ask yourself, is this the right time for me to be doing this? By tracking your energy and adjusting your routine, you'll be able to unlock your full creative potential and stop wasting energy on tasks that don't fit your mental state. Remember, productivity isn't about cramming more into your day. It's about working smarter, not harder. In the next chapter, we'll explore the different mental states that affect creativity and how to use them to your advantage. Stay tuned to learn how to optimize your brain for maximum creative output. Chapter 4. Managing your mind through mental states. Our minds don't stay in one static state throughout the day. Instead, we constantly shift between different mental states, each with its own strengths. Understanding and working with these states is key to creative success. In this chapter, Kadavy explains how managing our mind's natural fluctuations is far more effective than trying to force focus at all times. On one end of the spectrum, we have hyperfocus, where we are deeply immersed in our work, and time seems to fly. This is ideal for solving complex problems or completing tasks that need intense concentration. But not every task requires that kind of focus. On the other end is rest, where the mind is not actively working on anything. We're relaxing, rejuvenating, and allowing our minds to reset. This is critical for long-term productivity. But what about the mental state in between diffuse thinking? In this state, our minds wander freely, making unexpected connections and finding creative solutions. Kadavy explains that diffuse thinking is essential for creative breakthroughs. When we let our minds drift, the subconscious works in the background, often solving problems we couldn't tackle with pure focus. This is why taking breaks or switching tasks can often lead to those aha moments. Traditional productivity methods often tell us to fight distractions at all costs. But Kadavy argues that not all distractions are harmful. In fact, letting your mind wander or taking a short break can sometimes be the most productive thing you can do. Instead of forcing focus, we can manage distractions by working with them. Taking breaks, allowing the mind to wander, or even taking a walk can help refresh our thinking and bring new insights when we return to our task. And then there's rest, an essential part of the creative process. Rest isn't just about taking breaks. It's about giving our brains the time to recharge. Kadavy stresses that many of our best ideas come when we're completely disconnected from the task at hand. It's during these moments of rest, whether we're in nature, reading, or even the shower, that our brain often makes the connections we're missing when we try to force a solution. So, how can you apply all this? The key is recognizing your mental state at any given time. Are you in a high focus zone, or is your mind wandering? Once you become aware of your mental state, you can adjust your work schedule accordingly. By managing your mind through these different mental states, you can improve both your productivity and creativity, working smarter, not harder. Mastering your mental states is a game changer for creative productivity. By understanding when to focus, when to let your mind wander, and when to rest, you unlock your true creative potential. In the next chapter, we'll explore the power of rest and play and how they contribute to creativity. Stay tuned. Chapter 5. The Power of Rest and Play. We've all been there, overworking, pushing ourselves to the limit, trying to force out creative ideas. But here's the truth. Rest isn't just about relaxation. It's a crucial part of the creative process. In fact, rest and play are powerful tools for enhancing creativity, according to Kadavy. Mark is a perfect example of the problem we face in a world that idolizes hustle. We think that constantly working harder and longer will make us more productive. But the truth is, this constant grind drains us, not just physically, but mentally and creatively too. Kadavy introduces a concept of productive play. It's about engaging in activities that might not seem directly related to work, but actually fuel your creative energy. Whether it's playing an instrument, taking a walk, or trying a new hobby, these activities help your brain rest and recharge, leading to unexpected insights and breakthroughs. When we step away from our desks and give our brains a break, something incredible happens. We allow ourselves to enter a diffuse thinking state, which is essential for creative problem solving. This is when your mind connects the dots between ideas you may not have even realized were related. It's during these moments of rest and play that the best ideas often emerge. But why does rest lead to creative breakthroughs? Science backs this up. When we're overworked, our brain is stuck in a focused state, constantly processing information. However, during rest, our brain switches to a different mode, what scientists call default mode network. This is when our brain makes connections between seemingly unrelated ideas, leading to those aha moments. Simply put, rest helps you think better. Boredom is often seen as something to avoid, but Kadavy emphasizes its value. When you allow yourself to be bored, without the constant pull of social media, emails, or work, you create space for creative thoughts to emerge. Boredom is the perfect opportunity for your mind to wander and make those critical connections that lead to new ideas. The key takeaway here is not to feel guilty about resting or playing. These activities aren't distractions. They're an essential part of your creative process. Kadavy suggests you intentionally schedule time for play, hobbies, and rest into your day. This ensures that your mind stays refreshed and ready to tackle deep work when the time comes. So remember, rest isn't just about taking a break. It's about recharging your creative energy. Play isn't distraction. It's the fuel that drives your best work. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to design a creative system that works for you. So stay tuned. Chapter 6. Designing your creative system. Full breakdown for YouTube video. Speaking head and narrator. Let's meet Emily. She's been trying to get more creative, but every day feels like a battle. Her schedule is packed, but she finds herself constantly running out of energy before she even starts her most important tasks. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Kadavy says it's time to stop forcing creativity into your existing routines, and instead create a routine that works for your mind. Here's the problem with traditional productivity advice. They all seem to have one thing in common, a rigid, one-size-fits-all schedule. But we're not robots. We don't all operate in the same way. Kadavy argues that productivity is about understanding your unique rhythms, not copying someone else's routine. The secret to designing your creative system starts with understanding your own energy cycle. Kadavy emphasizes that your energy levels fluctuate throughout the day. Some of us are morning people. Our minds are sharpest after a good night's rest. Others, like night owls, experience bursts of creativity later in the evening. Recognizing these natural cycles is key. But how do you figure out what works for you? It takes experimentation. Kadavy suggests tracking your energy levels for a week, jotting down when you feel most focused, when you feel the need to take breaks, and when your creative juices start flowing. Your schedule should adapt based on these patterns. Once you've identified your creative peaks and troughs, it's time to design your day. Kadavy advises you to structure your work around those natural cycles. Your most challenging, high-concentration tasks should align with your energy highs. Meanwhile, administrative or low-focus tasks can fill the times when your mind needs a break. To further enhance your system, Kadavy talks about using creative triggers. These are simple rituals or activities that signal your brain to shift into a productive state. It could be something as simple as a morning coffee, a specific playlist, or a change of scenery. These rituals help put your mind into work mode, making the transition from one task to the next smoother. Remember, your creative system isn't static. It's a work in progress. As you continue experimenting, your schedule will evolve. It's not about finding the perfect routine, but a system that helps you maximize your potential. As Kadavy puts it, it's about small adjustments and constant refinement to match the rhythm of your creative mind. At the end of the day, designing your creative system isn't about rigid productivity hacks. It's about creating a personalized approach that aligns with your mental rhythms. By tracking your energy, adjusting your tasks, and building creative triggers into your routine, you can create a sustainable and effective system that fuels your best work. Kadavy's system is all about working smarter, not harder. The biggest lesson from mind management, not time management, is that productivity isn't about cramming more tasks into your day. It's about aligning your mind with the work that matters most. By understanding your creative rhythms, leveraging different mental states, and allowing for rest and play, you can unlock your full potential. If this idea resonates with you, grab a copy of Mind Management, Not Time Management by David Kadavy. And if you want more deep dives into books that can change your life, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more insights.